Where are we starting at? Oh, it's a 38-minute VoD. Okay, we're starting from the beginning.
Yeah, beginning of Anubis.
Okay. So let's go to comp. Skip ahead 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
I'm a hot tank on this awkward.
This is weird to have if we're playing dive with Ana. I don't know if I like that. But then Kree also works here, but then we need to play around Kree. So comp from the get-go is a bit scuffed, but that's okay.
I'm trying to remember, like, I think the call was that we need to isolate targets, and I was going like, I'm just gonna play McCree. I don't know why we got in it. I guess we're doing 2-2-2. Whatever, we're supposed to do dive.
Yeah.
But I heard that McCree was the real problem here. Well, the Reaper was the problem all night.
Yeah.
So I wanted to isolate him and kill him. It worked first fight.
Okay.
Only because, like, he got picked off.
So 2 things there. One, like I said, I don't mind this, but like realistically, the easy swap to make this comp viable is actually not Kree to Tracer, it's Ana to Xin, and then these 2 heroes, whoops, Kree and Genji synergize with Discord, and Lime can still get decent value. We lose Nano, but we gain Trance, and we gain 30% damage buff on every hero on our comp. Other thing is, I want you guys, generally, if we're going to play to this win condition of let's shut down Reaper and shut down Genji, then I want to see the entire team comp build around that. And so not only does that just mean that we build around a Kree, but it means that like from the get-go, like these heroes aren't going to be viable. And then the other thing is too, and we'll touch on this just real quick, I would prefer in an even matchup in a scrim that you guys focus more on burning through your set comps as opposed to counter comping. And if like what you had set for the night or like what you guys generally play is just getting hard countered by a team, that's when you unfortunately have to pick up a Kree out of nowhere and things like that. And that's generally what I would call back when I was a player, or like even when I'm coaching, like I just kind of call that a bad scrim, right? So the goal is realistically to not have to shift your guys' win condition so drastically so that we end up going from a dive comp to a protect the McCree comp, but also try to do that with a Winston Diva. Does that make sense? Like, because now even if you guys do really well, you're doing really well and you're practicing a very niche comp that you may never play again. So it's like, yeah, we won Temple of Anubis with 8 minutes on the clock, but nothing, like we didn't really gain anything. And you want to avoid that. And in 50-50 matchups, like when their team is just as good as yours, generally you can get away with this win condition, or you can get away with the full dive win condition. But I'm assuming if they're just like if we're counter comping, I'm assuming they're doing well against you guys. I don't know, but you want to avoid that generally. And I'm not saying just get rolled by a team because they're playing something unconventional, but I am saying generally you want to value, let's practice our base comps as opposed to like let's go into the scrim and from map 1 counter comp. This is weird to me. And I'm not picking on anybody, but like this is weird. The fact that we have 2 players peeking right now, but not all 6 peeking at the same time is weird to me. This is really actually kind of bad because if they're playing like a defensive widow or they're playing bunker, this shift, not only do you take damage, Lime, I know he's not here, but not only does he take damage and have to just drop down, the bigger picture is this delays our push by 6 seconds for his cooldown, so we end up just sitting here for 6 seconds for no reason and potentially get picked. So I don't like this. I don't like any of you guys who are peeking early right now. I think it's very imperative on this map because it is not only 2CP, but because Temple of Anubis is poorly designed. I think it's very important that the team stacks here and all turn the corner at the exact same time off of Lime's Leap. I don't think there's any exception to that. I think if you can make a case for going left, but then even then Mallow should be at the back matrixing everybody. So you guys should have already called a 3-2-1 left anyway. So this is already scuffed, but no big deal. That's why we're doing VoDs. I just think that a lot of people don't realize how big of a problem this is because you guys don't get punished at the level that like Al players do, right? At Al right now, if you peek like this, somebody dies almost every time. So you're trying to avoid that. Like look how long this transition was for Kree and Ana, right? We need to hammer this in. That's why I'm spending so much time on it. This needs to be hammered in. Look at all these players who are potentially one shot, who are just like slow rotating. Like that right there. That's a death in high level gameplay, 100%. That's a death in high level solo queue, generally.
I'm amping now.
I can't DM anymore.
Let's back out if you can.
We're up to.
Reaper's down.
Okay, so their team's gonna soft disengage. We get 3 picks. This is you guys guarantee, you basically guarantee the team fight at this point as long as we W key their team. Team's getting a bit split, but that's okay.
Ana slept.
Lucio.
Monkey's coming back.
I can amp a 3.
And team fights 1. They're gonna back out if they're a good team. Nobody's gonna touch anymore. Immediately, I'm looking to hear comms from, I don't care who. I don't know how your guys' comm structure works now, but I'm looking to hear comms in regards to the next team fight and how you're going to play and how you're going to path. Pathing on second point of Anubis is incredibly crucial because if you lose a couple fights in a row on second point, they can counter snowball super hard because the point already favors the defense. So we're looking to do anything we can right now to snowball second point. If I'm an IGL, even in this meta, and then because I haven't played through a year, I'm probably still going to call in my solo queue games or in like my scrim games when I'm filling. Let's push through main. We're going to path right side to avoid spam down main because we don't have a Rhine, we have a Winston. I'm going to avoid to go main. I'm going to avoid going left. I think right side is your play here because you have the monkey, because you have the diva with a nerfed matrix, because you have this hero, this hero, this hero, and this hero, especially the Kree and the Ana, who are potentially one shot because they're so slow moving. So you want to avoid going right down main. You want to avoid going left side with the monkey who can't protect you. That being said, that's the first thing I'd probably look at as a pather, as an IGL. Second thing you're looking at is your ult economy, and you're considering, does anybody on their team have an ult? Did anybody on their team pop off? Did anybody on their team get to farm while we focus someone else? Obviously not. We know we just 6-0 them or 6-1 them. Sorry, somebody died in our team. So we know our super head and ult economy. We know Ivan's got the only ult, so they don't have ults. But what I'm saying here is you guys need to be super focused immediately the second this fight ends on the next fight because you have to force the snowball on 2CP. Like, it needs to happen.
Don't swap. Don't swap. Stay as comp.
Right, yeah. Pretty much have no idea.
And again, semantics, but I don't like the Ana rotating down main right now just because if they swap to a hero and hard push here, they're going to gain ult charge. We're not even considering getting picked. We're just considering if a player right now who survived the push or who is respawn and starting to push down main, if they push our Ana, they're going to gain more ult charge per second than our Ana is. So this is just kind of, while nitpicky, I don't like it. I'd actually rather see the Ana rotating over here right now and the full team just go together. Same thing as first point.
Right, yeah. Pretty much have no idea.
So like Dusk Genji here, same thing. And he's half.
I was just farming blood. That's fine.
Lime's not even back yet, so I don't think we peek main.
I'm just farming blood. That's fine. I have bomb here.
We're going here. Hopefully. That's your best bet.
Mm.
Blade. Okay, you jump.
Okay, we have Nano Blade, we have Deadeye. Deadeye's gonna happen from the back if we're trying to play off of it. We don't really need to play off Deadeye because we have Nano Blade and that obviously takes precedence. So Deadeye's kind of like not even our minds right now. So wherever Ivan Deadeye's from right now, I don't really care. It's not a big deal. Bigger importance right now is Lime goes in first and Draco air dives, and then Kitty gives Nano a new win. Go ahead,
when
you
you
had a
mean
question.
when you mean back, like what do you mean exactly?
So you would late peak, right? Because like if you peak at the same time as your team with Deadeye, their team just soft disengages. But if you like let your team go in and then their team counters your team's engage because they have to keep your team from ticking on the point, you know what I mean? Now they're committed. Like now they've burned their movement cooldowns, or now they've like committed to the fight. So now whenever you peak late with the Deadeye, for them to get out now, it's much easier for us to capitalize and push them while they're soft disengaging. It's much easier for us to even keep them from disengaging. And in a lot of cases, like if we dive in first, right, and then they counter dive, they might not have mobility cooldowns anyway to get out. So there's 1,000 reasons to late peak if you're going for the Deadeye win condition. It's the same thing with the Widow, right? If you guys ever played Widow attack like in solo queue on this map, or even in your scrims, right? Like it's so strong because it's so easy for your team to just like if we went back to first point, let me grab a picture here. Temple. And if you guys never played this in solo queue, like it's actually the easiest way to climb SR. You guys can see this picture, right?
Yep.
So like it's a standard late peak, right? What would happen is you're playing Widow dive. It's what you probably saw a lot of the contenders teams playing for the past 2 seasons. Monkey turns the corner, dives up here onto the enemy team, and Widow has still yet to peak. Widow will not peak with the team. Widow will let her entire team go in, and now they have to get focused, and now Widow can late peak. And let's say she grapples up here 2 seconds later. Okay. Now these players here are already committed. They're in a gunfight. They can't just get out for free, so they can't S key. They're not going to S key because they know if they do that, they're going to lose. So they have to just counter dive the push. But now because they're doing that, they can either deal with the players on top of them and ignore the Widow, or they can try to deal with the Widow by hitting an insane shot on her, an insane sleep or something. But then these players on top of them are going to kill them, right? So by late peeking, you're forcing this like kind of like I wouldn't say double-edged sword, kind of like a choose your poison kind of scenario for them, where they can't really do anything about the late peeker now. So if I'm like a McCree with a Deadeye, if you think about it, that's the exact same win condition as a Widow grappling up top and risking getting headshot. It's the exact same thing. It's just a late peak one-shot hero. So that's all you're looking for there. And you actually do that with a lot of heroes, not just like Kree or Widow, anything like that. So many heroes late peak, depending on the win condition. But here we have Nano Blade, and that takes precedence because Nano Blade is objectively 10 times better than Deadeye and 10 times more consistent. So like I said, Lime goes in first, Mallow follows. In most cases, we'll talk about why he might not later in a different day. But for here, we'll just say Lime goes in, Mallow follows, Draco air dives so that Mallow and Lime can't in any way even get close to eating the Nano by accident. And then Kitties gives Nano a new win because Lime and Mallow touch down first, so they're going to get pressured first. So then Draco has space to not just get one shot. That's what I'm looking for here. We go right side, we do that. Yeah, bread and butter. You guys win this fight because this is their only defensive ult. They're not playing the Zen, and he's only 50 to beat. We should not lose this fight, but we'll see what happens.
Blade. Okay, you jump in.
I'm looking for about like a 6-minute cap right now.
Jump in, force cooldown.
I like right side. Okay.
I'm gonna work away to the top ground.
Again, just nitpicking and hammering it in. Look at how spread out we are when we turn this corner. If it'll overload. There we go.
I'm gonna work away to the top ground.
I do not like this. It's really bad.
I'm gonna work away to the top ground.
They have no projector.
Look at the delay here. What needs to happen here in a top level game, the exact thing you would see, honestly, is the Monkey and the Diva would probably start a dive about here. At most, Monkey looks up here to decide, do I dive far right or do I dive on point? At most. Okay. In general, even if there are players over here, your Monkey probably still dives on point, to be honest. So I'm looking for the Monkey Diva to dive about here, at most here. So in the skill box basically, and then that needs to happen at the second you touch that box, that passing. And then once you do that, Genji's immediately dashing in after. And so Ana should be about here right now. The Ana play should be about here. I don't know where she's at, but you should be here in this particular area because it gives you the best LOS of where Genji might dive, like meta dive spots for Genji to dive in the air, right? So, again, not nitpicky, actually important stuff. And look at how long it actually takes for us to set up this play. It should not have taken anywhere near this long. And because it did, Lime just gets picked for no reason. Lime's dive was also kind of bad, but our tempo is so slow. And this was, I don't like this. He goes way too early here. And he doesn't even know what he's actually diving, I think, is the bigger problem.
Jump in, force cooldowns. I can blade here.
He dives a Genji. That Genji could just dash out. And we need our Monkey's leap more than they need their Genji's dash, because our Monkey's setting up a huge win condition for us. Whereas they could care less about whether their Genji dashes or not right now. Like they aren't even thinking about it. Now we have no bubble. This bubble sucks. It's not on point, so we can't use it.
They have no projector.
Second he dies, we get out. I mean, fight's lost. I've talked to you guys about this before. Because 2CP second points generally favor the defense, you assume it's already a 7v6, right? And if it's a 7v6 and then we lost a player and now it's a 7v5 in their favor, like we wouldn't take this fight, right? Because if we took the fight and then we all died, think about how much ult charge we just fed, right? So we wouldn't take it. So in payload, a player might die and you might still take the fight. That's fine because payload maps are, depending on the area, favoring the attack, favoring the defense, whatever. It constantly shifts. But on 2CP, because it's already naturally 7v6 in your mind, this death is an immediate hard disengage call, right? I want to hear somebody calling like, okay, just get out, go, S key out. If you're gonna die on point, whatever. We are cutting our losses right now. We don't even take this fight.
Just die.
Okay, now we definitely get out, right? 7v4.
Just die.
So like I said, should have been at least a 6-minute cap, and that's assuming they stalled. I'm giving them a bit of credit, but now it's going to be a bit longer. And the problem is we mess up one more time, or we feed on the way in, which is why you pass this way, guys. their Lucio gets beat. And now when we Nano Blade, a great Genji can still kill through beat with Nano Blade. To be honest, you can still kill 1 or 2. But if anything goes wrong, you don't kill through beat. And if they're a good team, they can do a lot to make things go wrong. So I'm assuming if he gets beat here, we don't win the Nano Blade fight if they're a good team. But you can avoid feeding beat. If you guys all go right side and path right now, this guy will not get beat, and we can still Nano Blade. But we'll see what happens.
How are we looking at Nana? We got it.
We've had no.
Okay, but we go main, right? And we don't have Ryan. So every time we W key, if they are shooting early damage like this Lucio is, they're going to gain ult charge as long as they hit their shots.
Then we switch.
Where we go? Where we
Okay,
going?
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Is that ours or theirs? It's ours, right?
oh.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, they had Blossom. Blossom kills 2. It's 6v like 4 right now, basically for them.
Slapped.
We lose this fight. If they're a good team, same thing.
Reaper's underneath.
Voice
Hmm.
listen to?
What was our Nano Blade? Unlucky. Now you guys lose this fight. Now the Kree comp is where, like now I agree with the Kree comp. Basically, I think we don't even try to make Death Blossom. I mean Nano Blade work anymore. Their comp gets kind of boned by Kree. I will say that. So if playing something like Kree Goats, or not Kree Goats, well yeah, I guess like Kree Goats basically with a monkey isn't too bad. If Lime plays this correctly, Reaper's actually never really a problem in my opinion. I think if you play a good monkey, that Reaper doesn't really affect you in my opinion, to be honest. But you know, it's whatever. It's subjective. So he could go Ryan here. I wouldn't be mad, but I think Monkey's still good.
Reaper dropped down from the top there, so
Looks like we're playing just goats. That's fine. We beat this comp with goats.
Just push main.
Now you guys can take pathing down main. You can take pathing left side. Pathing right side might even be bad for you here, because now we can't contest Genji. So I could see you guys calling mains and left sides constantly.
He's usually sitting on the high ground up there.
Okay, then go left.
Yeah, he's right there. He's right there. Go left.
Everyone
There he
in,
is.
everyone in.
I'm
everyone in.
pressuring them on the
MG
high
Discord.
Okay. Mal overextended. The second you get CMAC, you guys get out. Mal should have suicide here because there's no environmental areas on this map.
Don't peek that. Don't peek that.
Trying to get my mech back.
You guys will spend 20 to 30 seconds if this is a good team waiting for Mal to get mech.
Okay.
Looks like they fed a bit.
My mech back too.
Again, not nitpicky. We're gonna hammer stuff in. We stopped our push at
Okay. Back up.
Lime just called back out at 458.
Oh, soft
Okay.
reset. Everyone speed up.
Sorry, personal.
Malo calls mech at 433. Okay, so 25 seconds we lost because we didn't just suicide in, and you guys need to enable him to suicide too, so that he doesn't have to shoot them and like do things like that. I talked to this with almost every Diva player, I think, in this server. When you want to suicide and bluff, you run at their supports and shoot next to their head. You don't shoot them in the head because that will force their team to think you're trying to kill their supports, and if you get that pick, that will allow your team to push in, and they can't afford that, so they'll try to kill you almost immediately. And because you didn't actually shoot the support, they can't gain support ult charge. So you're bluffing at their biggest risk, and like they'll almost always kill you at a decent level because they recognize like, oh, if we lose our support, we lose the map. So they won't take that risk.
Ryan Discord.
And what we can do to enable him here is like
I'm watching.
armor him in because it decays and like speed him in, whatever. But
Are we ready?
Okay,
yeah,
left,
we need him to die.
Left. Don't contest him this time.
Move, 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 move. Alright, get ready.
I don't have projected. Careful.
Watch our back. Reaper's going
Sorry,
down.
I'm
Watch your back. I watch your back.
Let's go.
Nice, good night. I'm gonna be.
Run one, run one.
Yeah, you know that.
What happened here?
Good night. I'm gonna be.
Unlucky. Did you guys know they had grab there when you pushed that? No.
There was no alt
No one
track
knows.
in that game at all.
I think this Reaper.
Assuming you guys did like track the rolls and you knew they had grab there, you probably just dry push that as soon as you can and die as soon as possible just to force that out because that's an insane combo for them. If you get that out, you have a pretty strong chance of winning the fight. So there, you probably just WK into their team, farm as much ult as you can, and your goal is to die with as much time on the time bank as possible and start the next fight as soon as possible. Sorry.
What do they have?
They have Nano Blade here. We have no defensive ults. We have Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb can be thrown into our backline, but on this map that doesn't work too well. so he definitely lose this fight if they play it correctly.
Letting this Reaper get away.
They have almost every ult. Free Pepe is farming Grav. All they have to do here is play behind Salt Lick on their team's shield and farm you guys out on your way in. And then by the time you make it to point, you don't have resources to deal with the Nano Blade or deal with the Speed Blossom, whatever. So
Murder.
we'll see how this fight goes. Should be their favor.
When he drops, everyone focus him. When he drops, everyone focus him.
He ain't gonna drop. He's winning right now. I can't fucking do
No,
anything.
no, wait for him.
Ah, there you go.
Watch
Reaper,
out.
Reaper, 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 Reaper.
Discord.
Reaper,
Shatter,
ready?
shatter, shatter.
We're out of here. Second that Shatter lands, like they've already gotten a pick on our mech, which is basically like you just consider that a full pick. And they hit the ult, so we just get out.
Us when we do that. Because then you're just gonna feed him. Just stick with us, and when he drops down, then you right click.
No, I'm trying to.
Okay, so you guys dealt with the Reaper in the wrong way, for one, I'll say that. Like, sending one player to go deal with the Reaper after his buff, like, D.Va doesn't win that 1v1 anymore, even remotely. Like, he leaves that 1v1 with full HP against D.Va now, in a lot of cases. Because she can't Matrix in the way that she used to, and also his life still got buffed again. So, like, your D.Va just gets clapped. So don't send just your D.Va. That needs to be discorded, it needs to be a full team rush. With Goats, obviously only D.Va has verticality, so we're hoping that we bait him into dropping and then pressure with Ivan or a volley, but that's not consistent. So realistically, you just path down right side there, and you ignore the Reaper who's like sitting on top of the entrance, and you just kind of say fuck you and go here. So, yeah, I don't know. D.Va doesn't win that anymore though, so you guys shouldn't just like send one player. Almost nobody in this comp beats that anymore
No, he won't.
by themselves.
Never heard you guys before.
Let him drop down.
We have Grab D.Va Bomb, Trank. We'll get beat in the middle of this fight. We'll get Rally in the middle of this fight. We have 6 ults. They have Nano Blade. Call here you guys should know that they have Nano Blade because they haven't popped it in like 4 fights. So we're looking to just see you guys play around that here.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to bait him out. Like,
If he's still here, we pass right side. We know that now, but
to go out, and then I'll bash him. And when he drops.
okay. So we're calling for a bait.
He's up there.
I'm doing this one time. If he doesn't fall forward after that, I don't think you ever even consider it again.
He's gonna hard focus me like he's been doing.
Yeah.
I have no shield right now.
This spot's really obnoxious now. It's actually really hard to deal with after his buff.
Or you could just speed on the point and ignore him.
Yes. 3, 2, 1.
Go, 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 go.
We're in purgatory here. We're past the choke. We're past the point of committing, and we still haven't went in for a long time. So we're kind of just sitting in purgatory, getting farmed out, and losing 2 defenders trade. So I don't like this. I think the second you turn this corner, you W key or you don't go at all. I think you don't have any room to not W key down the hallway. Otherwise, your run just loses shield and your D.Va just gets clapped on the way in.
Go, 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 go.
And we'll go back.
I don't get why we
Hard focus me like he.
God, almost 25 seconds here.
And when he drops.
Okay, we're going at 229.
He's up there, he's up there.
Alright, I'm waiting. I'm lying waiting.
This can't happen.
He's gonna hard focus me like he's been doing.
Yeah.
I have no shield right now.
We gotta go for
I
it. We
don't
gotta
get
go for
why
it.
we can't just focus
We're
him on
wasting shield.
Playground right now.
Or you could just speed on the point and ignore him.
Yes. 3, 2, 1.
Go, 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 go.
Okay, first test is at 209. We still didn't even pass past the middle of bridge. That was 20 seconds since we just went in. Again, purgatory. You have to avoid these spots. When you pass points of commit, like of committing like this, it's a W key or nothing in a lot of cases. This isn't payload. You don't have time to just sit and like soft disengage and soft reset and then do things like that. I mean, once you commit on 2CP on point Bs, I mean you're in almost always, unless you're taking some intricate pathing.
Down. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, we're out of here. At this point, Goats isn't working. I'd go for a combo and then get out. Right side is still being your play because Reaper's giving you the problems. Honestly, if I'm like a coach and I'm cheating, I probably chime in here and say, look, guys, just blow your ults and swap to a Pharmacy if we can't win the fight. Because it does basically win the fight against the comp. But that being said, we should have been able to beat their comp with Goats about 3 minutes ago.
3 times already, right?
That's no big deal.
Fucking healing
We
me.
need to group up.
Then we speed to point.
You
Okay.
actually want
Right
to
side
go
and
right,
speed.
yeah. Right side jump over, yeah.
I like
We
this.
Speed to point. We speed to point.
Speeding 3, 2, 1, let's go.
We have 6 ults. Grav on top of our team.
I'm amping.
That Genji's a god. Let's watch this Nano Blade one more time.
Speeding 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yeah, yeet.
I'm amping.
Into the wall. Very cool.
Got right. Ryan's in
Okay.
I can amp in one. Amping now.
Try and Discord.
Sorry has no personal. She can die.
Lewis is going around.
I should be hearing the entire team screaming calls right now.
Really high charge. Thank you.
Like, you guys have had 5 minutes of being stuck at a choke. You guys should be hyped right now to even like be close to winning a fight, to be honest. And even if you aren't, like, this is an insanely hectic section of comms for like every team is point B of TCPs, because you can't afford to not kill things quickly. It's so easy for teams to get out of spawn now because of heroes like this, heroes like Doom, heroes like Moira, that the second they spawn, they can be on point in 3-4 seconds. Like, it is so easy to stall in this game now. And so you guys can't afford to not have anything other than like close to perfect like targeting, like target focus. So to only hear 1 or 2 people right now is kind of disheartening. Like, it should be a full team thing. And I know that like in a lot of cases your team might have said like, okay, these players target call, nobody else, and you guys might have had that like spiel, but that a lot of that gets thrown out the window here. You still respect someone's target call a bit higher than others, right? Like, so if like Mallow is your target caller and he's just screaming like Reaper, 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 and then like you know, like you listen to him, but like let's say there's a Lucio on point and a Reaper on point, and you guys saw the Lucio first. So 6 players are all saying Lucio, 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 but then Mallow chimes in and says like Mallow saw the Reaper first, and he said Reaper, Reaper, Reaper. You guys would still respect his call more than others, but I should still be hearing like the entire team just spamming calls like super, super hard. So literally nobody can have an ADHD moment and not focus that target. Like there's no room to do that anymore.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
We used 2 support ults there, like back to back.
You mean you stack them or you use them?
Or you like stack them. I didn't exactly see the timing, but like they were used close.
They were pretty close.
Yeah, so and the biggest way to fix that, and why you guys are probably going to double support ult pretty often, is because you're not ult tracking in the first place. Like, you're not proactively calling what you think they're going to use, right? So if I'm an IGL there and I know they're coming in with Nano Blade, I'm going to call, okay, let's use this support ult first, and if they use this ult, we'll pop this. That's how it would. That's the template for how it would sound.
Roles though.
Yeah, I mean that's something you guys have had since like day one, but it doesn't make sense. You guys have to fix that. Like, it has to be fixed. You can't
People
lose ult charge.
missing or having to leave early. Happens.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know what you guys can do about that, but
Lucio on left.
not having people on rolls consistently is really weird.
All Discord.
Amp in one. Reaper no wraith. He can die.
Discord.
Again, entire team just
Mano wall.
waking up their parents right now with calls.
Sorry, on the left.
Amp in 4.
By herself.
Yeah, Mano ice block. She's right side. She can die. She can die. She can die.
So what I mean, why is this player alive for anything more than a quarter of a second after she gets out of ice block? You know what I mean? Like, she gets out of ice block, she's dead. That's just how it goes. Okay, luckily we get a good shatter and they C9'd, and this Nick Oss kid forgot to touch. That was okay. First point was decent. We capitalized on their terrible mistake. Second point, we had a lot of problems, but whatever. Let's watch your defense.
Hola, señor.
You guys play... Okay. I'm not going to touch on the comp here because I haven't been coaching a ton since to patch it. So I'm not going to say this is a bad comp, but I still think Bunker's like god tier here, right? If you play it correctly. So I don't know. Maybe you guys, it's just a comp for you guys. I think with this new hero, Bunker will be absurd in a lot of cases.
Have you seen the new Orisa changes?
Mm-hmm. Oh, her movement?
Yeah, that's fucking broken.
Yeah.
How about the new diva movement?
By the way, Typhoon, this is when I started spectating. And then between maps, I gave them coaching, I guess. But it was more of me just angrily talking to them than coaching.
Okay.
Okay, I think they.
Well, we're gonna try to speedrun your guys' defense, because I think there's a second map in this VoD, maybe a third map. I didn't realize I spent 30 minutes on your attack, but luckily we got a lot of the baseline issues out of the way, so it should be quicker anyway. We engage right here. This is our kill box. A bit weird, little late. Seems semantic, like I said again, but then look at where you're on ass position to pressure them. And you kind of agree to. Now imagine the Widow late peeking, because it's 3:38, and I guarantee 90% of you did not press tab to check their comp. Right, so Widow late peaks top, dead, 4K plus Widow. right there, dead, dead, because we didn't engage right here, so our Ana and our Kree couldn't play here and break LOS. Does that make sense to you guys? It's like, yeah, like we let them rotate up here, so the entire team has to LOS further around the corner to get LOS of them, but then you're giving up awkward angles to their team. So obviously they're not playing it here. They're just playing goats, but like you prep for these things in the first place. That's actually why you don't see every single time the Ana and the Zen playing right back here, back left, like one story up. Because you would think that'd be just a god tier spot, but if you guys have played like flex support in decent SR solo queue, you guys have seen where Widow just grapples up here and kills you because you're playing an aggressive angle. Like you just can't afford to do it because this is a Widow like centric map. And win conditions like that, it's not even just Widow. Like there could be a Hanzo peeking, a Zen late peeking, a Widow. Like there's so many things, so you have to prep for that. This is okay. We win the team fight. Ivan's dead though, so we get this kill on Zarya and we super soft disengage. We don't aggress until Ivan's back. He's a big source of damage, especially after Kree's buff.
I'm just getting out charge. They can't get me up here. So.
Stay in room.
I just put a nano.
Okay.
I don't mind this because they're playing goats.
Yeah.
They're going right side.
They're all in.
We engage here. Okay, so if we know they just passed down or through market and through the mini, I'd seriously be looking to hard engage here because we know that if their team full pathers through market, it's extremely easy for Ana to hit a big anti on their team without getting eaten because their diva realistically cannot come through market and spam look at our Ana the entire time ready to eat nade. Like she can't afford to do that. She needs to use Matrix throughout this rotation, so she can't afford to just like look at Ana and use and waste it the entire time not burning it, trying to eat the nade. So if they pass through market again, our Ana can just like soft rotate over, drop down, soft rotate over, and throw the nade in. If we hit the kill box. If we don't hit the kill box, it's pretty awkward for Ana again because if they make it up this hallway, their diva can turn and matrix her team and also risk eating the nade by proxy, not even intentionally, but she will eat it because we're trying to nade their team and she's just matrixing her team. So you want to engage on them here because their diva can't look in all these different angles. Right? She can look one place out of mini. So
Right side.
you look for it there, but the problem with this one is if we hit it, I mean, they just stop disengage and wait it out and push back in. And I don't mind you going for it for the free ult charge, but what you'll see from a insanely like strong team here, tier 2+, is they call on a no nade, go now, and they come right back out and they push you guys. So we do want to avoid that. On a no nade is a big switch to flip for a lot of teams, as to like whether they engage or not.
They're all anti again.
Okay, we just got Kree back, just got Lucio back. That's really good for us. Team's still a bit out of position, so we might be careful. Lime engages a bit too early here. That forces out bubble. Sucks for us. Unlucky. How? I don't know. I guess I just hit by a ton of spam. It's unlucky. Lime's on HP. Lime gets picked. I don't know what we did here. We're not going to super analyze this. This is just... That's just bad. I mean, we'll play it one more time. Lime goes in way too early. Their team's not even here yet, so they all kind of just focus Lime at once, force him off immediately. So we can't play off bubble now. If Lime was going to go in here, not the end of the world, but the full team should have committed so that he can have some space and you guys can abuse his space. So he gets out, sort of, for a second. They discord our Lucio, throw a fire strike at him and an orb, and he dies. Very unfortunate, but if Lime engaged correctly here, SP doesn't get picked. It's not all Lime's fault, though. It's everybody's fault here, to be honest. I'm just picking on Lime because he's the main tank, and he's the easiest to explain things off of. So they discord him, farm him out. We're down 2. We 100% lose this fight now. They push our squishy on point. Ana's dead. Kree's up top, but he's not Carpe, and even if he was, he doesn't win this fight. Okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, I was just getting all charged.
All right, we nano blade and swap off Genji now if they stay on goats. We can keep Kree. Still think bunker's pretty nuts here.
Go right side.
Camera, AFK. There we go.
Don't let us fight your Ana. Don't let us fight.
Way back.
I'm trying to get out.
Insane shatter from there.
Hey, Shatter. Okay, Anna, you ready?
Looking at me. They're looking at me. They're looking at me.
Oh no. Okay.
Anna, ready? 3, 2, 1.
I'm on 10.
Sorry, no personal.
Just pop.
If you guys knew they had trance, it's an insanely important call to make here because if you notice, Draco gets nano and dashes, but the problem is if we let him know that they have trance, he'll save dash as a Genji player because you can slash dash through trance and kill through it because you deal what is it? You deal about 280 damage in one quick burst if you slash dash, and you can do it in one tick because trance happens in ticks. So like, let's say trance goes tick tick tick, right? But if I hit the 280 anywhere between these, it will kill a player. But because we didn't call that, he dashes in, so he doesn't have slash dash anymore. So he can only slash, so he can't kill through these ticks, these little spaces. Yeah. Anyway, most of you guys know that, but it's a really important call. It kind of just bones you guys, and now Nano Blade isn't going to be effective against a good team. Like, it immediately just does nothing now. Unfortunate. We do get nade there, so it sets us up for one. We want a full team wipe off Nano Blades generally, or enough to just like force them to disengage. Okay, we did get 2 though, and we have that 1 player main advantage because we're on defense, so they soft disengage. I think we stop off Nano Blade now because they're playing goats, and a good goats team is not going to fall to Genji. I don't think. They're passing right side. We're still on Nano Blade. We realistically shouldn't win this fight, but we got to pick on their Lucio. What happened here? Okay, I don't know. They shouldn't die to that.
I got it.
Any reason we beat it?
No speed boost.
I mean, they're down Lucio. They shouldn't have pushed us anyway. They should have just gotten out. But then we grab. Oh, did we get grabbed? Is that why we beat it? Hold on.
I think they deflected.
Oh, okay. And then we heard their grab call, so then SB beated reactively. Okay, that's not a problem. It's no big deal. So we just didn't know we deflected it. Good deflect though. Alright. I think we overburned there.
Deflected it?
Yeah.
He deflected the grab. That's why he screamed, I got it.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a Zarya.
Just realized that.
Yeah. So we overburn here. It was a good team fight. It's bad of them to push that. Like, if you guys push that whenever you lost your Lucio, I would be calling you out right now, but I mean, whatever, it's their team. We won this fight ages ago when they lost their Lucio, so us committing this many ults doesn't really make that much sense. I can see us trading 1-for-1s. Like, you know, we blow an ult to open it and guarantee the fight, and then they blow an ult reactively, and maybe we're still not confident, so we blow one more ult. And we keep reacting off of one ult of theirs, but I don't think we blow 3 ults out of nowhere without, like, you know, waiting out to see if they're going to blow something. So I think we overburned there a bit, but that's no big deal.
Big brain. Smile.
I do really want to burn this Nano Blade next fight and get off of the Genji though against goats. Like, I don't think a goats team even remotely loses to this comp that we're playing right now.
Yeah. PUBG's problem on bread.
Okay, Mal's on Zarya. That's fine. I think Zarya Winston's actually underrated if played correctly. Obviously not as good as like Zarya Ryan, but it's
I
enough
made
for
that switch because I thought we were gonna switch.
You thought you swapping to Ryan, yeah. I get that. I'm just saying, like, we're not as impacted right now by you being on Zarya. Like, it's not a big deal is what I'm saying. Like, if you swapped to Diva before you swapped to Winston, I'd be like, yeah, we're playing Ryan Diva, this kind of sucks. And I'd probably like touch on it, but like here you're playing Zarya, he's playing Winston, I could care less. Like, I actually, if I'm spectating like Breakaway when I used to coach Breakaway or whatever, like whatever contender's team, I wouldn't even touch on this in a VoD review. So that's all I mean is, like, I don't mind this at all. Zarya Winston's not, it's workable.
They're anti.
And Winston dies there.
Yeah, he early dive way too early. I would never, I'd never engage here. You just don't get any value from bubble. You force yourself into a choke. You only have 1 leap, and if they CC you out of it, you're dead every single time. So if you leap at the same time, break shield bashes, you're dead. Then if you think about this doorway, if any of you play Winston, you can't leap out of it comfortably. You have to like walk through it a bit and leap out because it's so small. This is just bad. You don't engage here as Winston. ever. Unless
Would-
the entire team's engaging, you engage right here every time.
Would it have been better if I was still on the high ground right now? Would it
Yeah.
would it have been better if I dropped down with him and then
With him,
was
I think the full team has to go. I think unless the full team is here, unless we're like dropping in with a nano blossom and like he's dropping in early to int dive, like I talked to you guys about before, like he's inting so that he gets focused and you don't, then it makes some sense. But that's a lot of like things that did not happen. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think it takes a full play.
I think I was trying to go and like force trans with Primal, but that's
fine. But you have to assume like that's already a hero play. Like for them to mess up
Yeah.
so hard that you force trance. So be careful about that because even if you do that, like you force trance with Primal, Primal's 1,000 HP on top, or 1,000 HP on top of about the 300 you burn before you pop it. Trying to get value from the initial health bar. So you're gonna burn a good 1,200, 1,300 HP. So you gotta be careful of this. I don't mind this play, but everybody has to commit to it. Okay, so they're gonna pick Lime and they're gonna hard push if they're good. I mean, the second that happens, they W key your team. They don't do anything but W key. We have Nanoblade here. They have 2 picks though. They double support ult. We soft disengage now. We're not gonna kill through a double support ult. You guys give up 2 ticks at this point. If we try to take this fight and they're a good team, they WQ one of your players right now, and one of your players dies at minimum, and then they're gonna get 2 ticks anyway. So we just assume because they double support ulted and our Nanoblade's not working and 2 players just got picked, wow, we are not doing well, and you guys play for the recontest. If you guys take this fight right now and they pick you guys, it's over. You can't get back in.
Ryan slept, don't wake him.
I don't like this. I think we all SQ back to the spawn and we give it 2 ticks. Can't be afraid to.
Go install.
Do these guys even shoot?
Go install.
I was gonna say, Winston's literally just taking real estate.
Yeah.
They're just looking at him.
I don't know what's going on. Lime's health bar is not moving.
Go install.
I had a feeling if I was on Lucio, they probably couldn't kill me.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. At this point, you guys may actually get a full recontest if they can't kill Lime like this. I think you are. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do not use this team as a baseline. You guys should have been done for at this point. Like, you don't get back in. You guys stagger in 1 by 1 and you get farmed out, but you guys should not touch with more than 3 players ever at this point. Lime should have been almost an auto kill the second you primaled. And you still should have primaled Lime. Like, I'm not saying your primal is bad, but I mean, this can't happen.
Diva, break one.
Okay, so they're stabilizing now. They remember to aim again, I guess.
Being chased.
Okay, here it is. We're 1 by 1ing now. We burn trance for no reason, it looks like. Probably held that a bit.
I'll get on there. Sorry, it's blocked.
Okay, so they cap with about 2 minutes ahead of you guys. Whatever, that's not the end of the world. Just small TCP problems. What is the next map? We're gonna legit speedrun this map. Almost no pauses, hopefully.
All over Ilios on
Ilios, okay.
Does everyone understand the game?
But Anna, me with Anna.
Seniors, and it's good. Remember to
Okay, what are we playing? Quad? Are we playing Pharmacy Song?
Remember.
Looks like we didn't boost out the gate. So yeah, Mercy's Lucio here. Speed boost out, swap Mercy, fly to Pharah, fly to Sombra. We beat their comp pretty hard. I'd like to see our Sombra playing a bit defensive because their only win condition would be pick and kitties. And so if we can avoid that, our comp, because we have the Pharmacy and they're playing Reaper Genji, is super strong. So we'll see how this goes. Okay.
What were you saying about the Mercy?
So at the beginning, the Mercy player, if you're playing Pharmacy, should always be Lucio, speed boosting out gate, and then take 2 steps out with your team, 2 steps back in, swap to Mercy, and then use Guardian Angel to fly to somebody, and then your team gets the initial speed boost that the other team might if they're playing Lucio, and they are, right? So
Okay. I'll do that from now on.
okay.
Real quick question though. Playing defensively with Sombra only because I just want where's the like in this map specifically, where's the best place to hold up and wait to protect
You can still play. You can actually play like unstealth. You could play unstealth like by the pack that you're hacking over here on the coast. I
Which
just want you.
do.
Okay, that's fine. I just want you close enough to the Zen that if they jump in, you are able to protect. Like if their Genji just like solo dives your Zen, he should die. You know what I mean? Like that's what
Okay.
we want you there in that sense. You don't have to be like just sitting back, not doing any damage. I just want you close enough to be able to rotate at the same speed their DPS can rotate.
Okay.
What we don't want basically is like a Sombra in the back line hitting their supports and then like our pharmacy spamming because that's too much. Like it's more than we need. So like we're just trying to, because we have this win condition right here in these two heroes, we're going to use it to the best of our ability and we're going to play slow. And the longer the fight goes on, because we have the better comp, the bigger the gap widens, if that makes sense to you guys. So like, you know, we have the winning win condition. So the longer the fight goes on with, in this case, because it's a pick win condition, pick heroes.
And we just got a pick right there.
Yes, right. So like we want the gap to widen so far that their team has to just give up or push into us and die. Now if we're playing like a brawl win condition, you just W key and you go, and you want the gap. The gap actually widens by playing fast because you can't play slow with brawl. You lose the fight by playing slow. We're going too far into it at this point. Basically, Farmer C beats Genji Reaper, and only Ana, not Ana Zen. So if we play slow, the gap widens. So we need to just play slow, play defensive, and let the Farmer C do its job, and then we win. And that's all we got to do. That pick right there is enough. I could see you guys saying, "Oh, let's just go in." I wouldn't mind that. Ana's a big pick. Okay, got a bit too trigger happy there. Let's go back and see why. Tempo is fine. I think our positioning is just a bit weird. I need to stop pausing. Okay, make sure he's bubble. Or use this area back here. Back's hacked, right? Yeah. We still win this fight.
We can probably cap. Watch out once you come in.
Monkey Discord.
Reaper coming in, Reaper coming in.
Okay.
Reaper's on the left side, left side. Reaper's hack coming in.
Genji on me behind.
Wow, so many different calls now. I've heard Winston, Diva, Reaper, and Genji so far.
Hey, the Winston's hack coming. I'm back.
Fight's over. I mean, once we lost two, they push back in. That should have been a bread and butter free team fight win off the Ana pick. Now we swap to Monkey Goats, but they're playing Reaper. I don't know.
Genji Discord.
The call was switched to like dive goats.
Okay. I think against this comp we go Kree Goats with Monkey, especially because this map is so easy to play Monkey and play off verticality, so Reaper's not a problem. And we just keep our Brig and our Kree next to our Zen the entire time, and their Genji Reaper can never hard engage, and then they just lose. I think Reaper Genji is a really bad combo because of that reason. Like they just go Brig Kree, and that's already meta. Or those are already meta heroes that do well against tons of comps, and then Reaper Genji just loses right away. Okay, that's fine. We knew they were going to win that fight anyway. They won the first fight. They got more ult economy than us. That being said, because we knew that, losing the fight right now at about 45 doesn't make sense. It should have been dead around 35, 30-ish. Save you about 10-15%. That's a full team fight. They're going to stagger Diva. Just end off map here, honestly. Good team won't even peek this ever once they get the DMIC.
Getting a ton of value.
He's been setting up on the. He's been.
I'm just pressuring him.
Monkey Discord.
I'm purple.
Monkey down.
Okay, need off map there as we need Diva. They push, they're holding forward. This is our one fight to win right here.
Focus Ana, please.
Anna's left. I'm gonna jump. Ready?
You guys hit this corner. You hit this choke, sorry, and you aggro Trents in because we have to touch. And you assume that they know that we're gonna have to touch. So a good team's gonna capitalize. I've talked about stress pushing with you guys before. They're gonna capitalize on a stress push here. They're gonna get a free pick unless we trance. So just keep that in mind. I should see the trance pop right about here. At most, you guys pass through this area, and you come out a bit further ahead, and now this is your choke, and you trance out of this choke. But either way, we're trancing out of the choke. We can't afford to get picked because they're going to capitalize on the stress push if they're a good team. And if any of you who are new, haven't heard me talk about stress pushing before, just ask your teammates. It's basically free kills for any team that capitalizes. Okay, they don't do that. because they're an insanely strong team. We trans, but at this point, I don't even know how effective it's going to be for us or if it's even needed. Their team's super split. We get to pick what our ults look like for next fight. We have grab diva bomb. Okay.
We're all up here now.
This is too much. If everyone flanks, no one flanks.
No, I got good.
That's good.
You jump in, I can bubble you. Save your jump pack for that.
Anna's
just
back
dropping,
right now.
I'm just
Anna's
gonna
back
drop.
right with Lucio.
I'm dropping.
He's up here. Oh wait, that
I'm
walked
backing back.
into that.
Oh.
Back right with Lucio.
Are you guys from the south? Like the southern U.S.
Florida.
Yeah, you know that backhanded comment, like "bless your heart," you know. All the television
Yes.
is. Yeah, bless your guys' hearts, dude.
That would hurt.
He's up here.
Yeah,
I'm back.
unlucky.
That
Okay,
dragon
that
was.
Yeah. I mean, the second he pops the sound cue, you guys should have known, like, oh, he's definitely going for us because we're all stacked. So we just W key like back to point or S key back to point, but
Lucio Bash dead.
whatever.
When
We don't win this.
countered.
Okay, I'm taking my hands off the keyboard, or off the pause button at least. What do we play?
Jumper hook, Hoggle hook.
We're playing Ryan Goats. Okay.
Yeah, I'm contesting.
I'm hoping you guys have done a VoD review of how to play Goats here. If not, it can be very hard to do it correctly against Bunker. If you have, then this definitely works, but you have to play it perfectly. Otherwise, Bunker wins, but we'll see how this goes. They're playing Bunker with a Reaper instead of a Brig, which I think is odd, but whatever.
Orisa, please. Orisa, please. No shield. Orisa, no shield, please.
Reaper's back.
Okay.
No fade.
Playing fast into him. Good. They can get back in now with Orisa Hog against Goats. There's no way. So we cap and we push forward and hold stairs.
I hate to tell you, but they do.
Oh no. Okay, so we are again that I'm pausing, but we're here right now. Before the fight, even like the second we cap, we have almost 6 players here. And what this does is because Hog is just easily farmable and super squishy in the sense that he just feeds ult charge, and because Orisa can only put down a barrier and sit behind it, she can't push with it. How realistically should they be able to make it back up the stairs? You know what I mean? Like they shouldn't. But we don't capitalize, so they just get up this corner for free, and that's where we make the mistake. You have to punish their comp.
Well, that at this point they don't have Lucio.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, he's still dead. Yeah, and they still get up here. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's even worse on our end. Yes. But the second week, you have to punish that. You always punish Orisa Hog that way. Yeah.
With this comp, like with me on Diva, do you think I should be focusing the Pharaoh on the back line, or do
you can? You can because she doesn't have the Mercy. If she had the Mercy, I would say definitely not. Like 100%, you don't focus it. But because she doesn't have the Mercy, you can actually go for that solo kill constantly. Especially because Moira on her own is very obnoxious against the Pharmacy in the sense that if she pushes a Pharmacy, all they can really do is like the Mercy has to just continually heal the Pharah the entire time and can't damage boost, otherwise she'll get picked. So she can do that even against a Pharmacy. So against a solo Pharah, Moira on her own can generally just solo kill like the Pharah if she's annoying and just plays like a mosquito, and you can kind of do the same thing. So together, this is a terrible pick. Like I think this pick from them sucks. So yeah, you can do it, Mallow, if you abuse high ground in the way that we talked about before, and Moira can do it if Pharah overextends and it doesn't put Moira too out of position. Only thing that's changed is with the defense matrix nerf for Diva, flying in the air and doing that thing where you 1v2 contest and things like that is a bit harder to make a good case for. You know what I mean? Because like Matrix is a lot harder to use effectively now, so using it in a fly battle is really hard. Even I think for like god tier divas to get value from. So maybe you don't do that anymore, but you can definitely contest the Pharah if she overextends for sure. Until then, though, you just play with your team. You play Diva how you basically always would until she overextends.
Okay. I just felt like a lot of these sucks they get off. I could have ate if I was there. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the value of it, you know.
Yes, but your team should also just not ever really be in a case where suck is an issue, if we're being honest. Like, if we're playing Goats into what they're playing, you're always pathing through here or through here. So like you're never in this area with Goats, to be honest, against Bunker. Like almost ever. We're pathing through doorways or pathing through anything we can to avoid the billions of damage per second their comp does from across the map. Like we can't deal with that. But we can't get on top of them and just brawl their face in and like bash their face in and curb stomp them. And that's all we're looking to do. So to do that, you're using all these buildings to break LOS, break LOS, break LOS, avoid damage, break LOS, and then you get on top of them with insane rotations and very good team play, and you just clap them because this hero cannot beat goats in a brawl. This hero cannot beat goats in a brawl. Like this hero cannot beat goats in a brawl. So we get on top of them, they lose. So getting sucked into this should really never happen. Now, because we do that, that frees up Mallow to do things like this. Let's go back 5 seconds and watch Fair's HP. Watch Mallow pushes her.
I don't see anything.
I was gonna say I'm not. It's not updating on mine.
Oh, really? What do you guys at?
I'm refreshing.
Okay.
Still at 10%.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm at 23. Wow. Maybe none of that made sense.
I'm
if you guys are seeing
refreshing.
something else. Basically, what I'm saying is we don't ever play near the pit with goats, like against these kind of comps. You're just pushing through like buildings and stuff and breaking LOS, and that frees up Mallow to not have to worry about his team getting sucked in, because it shouldn't be a win condition for their team in the first place.
Is anybody else having a loading issue?
Yeah, it's not loading for me.
Might have to restart it.
I'm not.
It's loading, not loading for me.
I was gonna say the last couple seconds where you were saying this entrance or this entrance, I was like, okay, I only see one
And
more.
yeah, like
Oh,
you're
really?
right, like nothing was changing.
Yeah, it's just Visor kind of sucks now, guys. It's 9 o'clock anyway. Like, I at least for me, like I have to head out. I don't know.